Hey guys, how are we going? This is Michael Duncan from Meta Creative, and this is the first episode of Meta Bytes, which is going to be a radio slash podcast. It's a podcast slash audio experience for small businesses and medium businesses and any size businesses, talking about websites, digital marketing, and all things in between. And today, for the first episode, I would love to chat about our web development process, the steps we go through, and hopefully this is useful if you're thinking about developing a site or building a site for your business. This could be useful. Okay, well, number one, the brief. So first off, we need to find out why you need a new website and exactly what your goals are. We may need to dig deep and uncover your darkest secrets. Well, maybe not that dramatic, but we need to find out the why. And we'll always get a client to fill out a online form that we have on our website, which goes through a lot of questions, basic questions about the name of your business, which is hopefully easy to answer. Going right through target audience, budgets, websites you like, don't like, and a few much deeper questions that really give us a good basis to build a proposal on and build a brief on. Once that's all signed off, once we've shaken hands, once we've said yay to the job, we will move on to the first major step, which is the sitemap. Once we get all the information needed, we'll build out this sitemap so we can get on the same page really quickly. And this kind of acts as our map to structure the site so we can provide the best user experience possible. And all this, all the info for the sitemap really comes from that initial questionnaire and the initial discovery session we have with the client to really get as much information as possible. Because obviously, we both want to start off on the same level with the project, and we want to keep on the same level right the way through. And this is why a process is so important. So if you are going to be hiring a web developer, a web design company, agency to do your website, make sure they have a process. Ask the question right at the beginning, do you have a process? And then wait for the answer. If it's no, run. If it's yes, find out what the process is, just so everybody's on the same page. Okay, so sitemap. We've got the sitemap, page structure. We know where all the information is going to be sitting on the site, from the home page to the internal pages. So we've got a really good idea of everything. From there, once that's signed off, and this is the important part, make sure you sign off and make sure you agree at every stage about what's going to happen next. So sitemap, tick, that's great. So we can sign off and move forward. And the next step we go on to is the prototype / in brackets kind of wireframes for the site. And this is where we get a little bit visual, and this is based on the aim of the site. We build a wireframe for the key elements on that are going to sit on specific pages on the site. Where the logo is going to be, the call to action, image placement, and other key functionality. Contact forms. And this will show the general process of movement through the site from the client perspective, or from the user perspective, sorry. And this really, you really got to put yourself in the shoe of your target audience at this stage and work out that best journey for them when they hit the site. And this is what the prototype does for the client. It helps them understand the kind of movement through the site. This is the home page. They'll scroll down, they'll see a call to action. This is where the video will be. They click here and it goes there, that sort of stuff. So again, this is ultra important step in web development. So yeah, this is probably the most important step, apart from the sitemap, which is also the most important step, and the brief and everything else. It is one of the most important steps. So just quickly, let's go over what we've just done: the brief, the sitemap, the prototype. So after that, after we've got an amazing idea of the site journey, the site map, the construction of the pages, we head on to the visual part, and this is great. This is where we get creative and build a stunning brand-driven design. And here, you may want to put your socks back on after this because quite possibly they're going to get blown off. I love getting visual at this part, and this is where the client can really start to see, their branding, their business branding, their language, the color, everything appear in front of them. We'll start creating a test development site at this stage, where the client will be able to go back and reference as we're building. So this part of it is really important. Again, this is important as all the other parts, and this is where every single sort of part of this process, when it comes together, will create an absolutely amazing website for our clients. After design, so once brief sitemap prototype design, where we've got visual, where we've put in the branding, and this is where the real nitty-gritty of the design comes into place. And I've just said design about 6 times in a row, which isn't any good. But once that's signed off, we move straight on to the actual development and the coding of the site. So everything really goes quiet at this stage, and all the secret stuff happens in the back end. There's symbols, there's codes, there's like matrix style screens. Let's just say we spend quite a bit of time indoors at this stage. Yeah, it's a good stage. It's a good stage. This is the real nitty-gritty stuff. This is the real magic in the back end. This is where we'll make your site quick. We'll make your site functional. This is where we build the site based on all the previous steps. Coding traditionally 2 to 3 weeks, maybe longer, depending on what's happening. And before all of this, we've agreed on the content. The client has put together the content. We're all ready to go, with this part of it. We shouldn't be at this stage. We shouldn't be waiting for any client content, and that should all be done. Be it through a copywriter or through their marketing department or us helping them put it together. So yeah, coding's a very exciting time because this is where all the magic really starts to sort of come to the surface. Once that's done, of course, we do our testing. Our testing sort of is in conjunction with the launch of the site. Just before we're going to go live with this site, we'll go through a 22-point checklist of things we need to make sure are in place before we move across. And at this stage, there's a lot of stuff that, depending on if we're doing a full redevelopment of an old site, there's a lot of stuff we need to take into consideration from an SEO perspective. Redirects on old Google index pages. So here, this is finally where we put the site through our 42-point pre-flight check. Did I say 22 before? I did. 42-point pre-flight check, and then launch it into cyberspace so the rest of the world can visit it on computers, tablets, and smartphones. And definitely smartphones. Please ask your developer if they do mobile, because if they don't, again, run. Stick your Nikes on and shoot out the door, because every single site in the world should be optimized for mobile use. Tablets are definitely a kind of dying breed when it comes to viewing websites, going by the data we have, but yeah, responsive sites are it. So that's kind of it. Launches, and after that, of course, we have the mandatory fireworks and we have party pies once the site goes live. And this is really where the fun begins, because once the site is up and running, there's a lot more to do. But I might leave it at that for today. Quick recap on the process. The brief, where we put together the information, what's going to be happening with it. This is where we uncover your dark secrets. The sitemap. And this is where we build out the visual sitemap of what's happening. Where the pages are, what pages are. Prototype. This is where we start building the pieces together and we start to sort of see things happening and get a little bit visual. Design. Boom. Stunning brand-driven design. This is where the color, the imagery, the logo comes in. Obviously after that, the coding, and then the launch. And of course, as I said before, when we've launched, we have fireworks and party pies. So, I thank you very much for listening to this strange audio experience. This is my first one, so please do not laugh. And if you do, well, I hope you enjoyed it. Over and out.